What's up, Magical Misfits? Drew here, and I have decided to bring back my Monday Musing series. So I kind of want to supplement my content a little bit. I'm only doing a video once a month, and these Monday Musing videos will allow me to do another video, at least one more video during the month. I don't know if I'll do a Monday Musing every month. I do have a couple in my mind that I want to do besides this one here today, but we'll see what happens. My intention is that I've got topics that I want to talk about that I don't really feel like I want to stretch out into a full video per se, because my videos have been a bit longer since, not that they were exactly short all the time before, but I definitely try to make them a bit longer now that I only put out once a month. So little bite-sized topics that I just have some thoughts on, maybe VR, stuff like that. This is a VR basically. So to get right into it, I was watching, there's a beautiful witch here on YouTube whom I watch named Jasmyne Ambrosia, or that's the name of her channel. And I really enjoy her content. And she had a video a little while ago now that I found really interesting. Apparently she was chatting with a friend and they asked her what her idea of shadow work was, and she answered that question, and then they said, okay, well, what's the opposite of that then? And I thought that was really interesting. I've never really heard that talked about. I've not really thought about it myself, so I wanted to. Firstly, I suggest you go check out her video. As I said, she's lovely, and I don't really want to get into her take on the topic, even though it's similar to my own. I would prefer you just go check out her video for yourself, and I will of course leave a link, and I'm going to try to remember to leave an end card. But so I'm pretending the question's been asked to me. What is shadow work? So for me, shadow work is it's very much inner work, right? It's this idea that something out in the world has upset me, triggered me, angered me, hurt me, scared me, whatever it's done. And anytime that happens, whether I accept the invitation or not, I take it as an invitation for me to look at myself and be like, what does this say about me? What is this? And dig in and do a little shadow work and learn more about myself and come to a deeper understanding of myself. Shadow work is something that for me has been deeply psychologically, emotionally, and ultimately spiritually healing. I have dealt with things like past relationships that are long and over that I felt traumatized by, childhood trauma from my early 20s or my even early 30s, the death of my mother, teenage trauma, whatever, like trauma, if you will, wounds that I carried with me, ideas, behaviors that I carried with me. And so for me, essentially, shadow work is this kind of accountability. It's this digging deep into the self and learning more and understanding the self better. It's a deep inner work. So on this premise, what is the opposite of that? If that is shadow work, what is the opposite of that? And like my initial knee-jerk reaction, if I'm in a sort of dualistic mind frame, is bypassing. Emotional or spiritual bypassing. Just completely refusing to either acknowledge that anything's wrong in the first place or accept any responsibility for anything that's wrong. That's the kind of, like, again, dualistic thinking. But ultimately, I am not, that's not how my mind works. Like, I can get stuck in that for sure, especially, living everyday mundane life. But really, from a spiritual standpoint, I do not do the dualistic black and white, good and evil kind of mind frame. The example I like to use most usually is hot and cold. I think it's easy for everyone to relate to. Like, in a dualistic mind frame, hot and cold actually seem like polar opposites. But really, they are both temperature. They're the same thing. They are on a sliding scale, a spectrum, and they are on different sides of that. But for me, even the spectrum isn't a straight line, it's a circle. And eventually they come back to each other and meet again. And so if I think about shadow work in this way, and I think about here's shadow work at this end of the spectrum, and here is spiritual bypassing. Here's bypassing at this end. What does it look like where they meet? And for me, that is what I'm going to call the opposite of shadow work, and that is outer work. That is the work that I do out in the world, like what I do with my shop, or what I do here on this channel or my other channel, or what have you. Like any groups that I belong to, any friendships that I'm a part of. I watched a video a long time ago now, and where Kellyanne Maddox kind of said, like, she has 3 words, right, that are kind of like a mission statement, if you will, whatever. I don't remember exactly how she worded it, but these 3 words are the things that she tries to make sure are a part of everything she does, because it's like her, it's what she wants, it's what she's after, it's her goal. These are the things that I'm trying to do. And I don't remember what her 3 words were. I think we had one in common though, but I can't remember. But for me, my 3 words are to be honest, to be truthful, to inspire, and to empower. And that is my number 1, to empower. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to empower others to find their voice, to find their path, to find their truth, whatever it is, whatever that looks like, to find their magic, whatever. That is like my mission statement, whatever. That is my passion, if you will. That is my outer work. And I would say that my ability to be successful in that work is greatly impacted by this shadow work. And that's why, to me, they're kind of opposite. It's like one is inner and one is outer, but they definitely play a role, and like there's a back and forth between the two. And I can clearly see the benefit of doing the inner shadow work on my ability to properly do the outer work. In her video, Jasmyne Ambrosia referred to it as light work, because opposite, shadow, light. And I've always had this really sort of sticky feeling with the term light worker because of my own personal negative experiences with that term and people identifying by that term. But I actually really liked it. I actually thought the way that, as far as shadow being the inner and light being the outer, I actually really liked that terminology. But it's probably not something I'll use out in the spheres, because again, everybody has their own ideas about what you would mean if you were talking about light work. So yeah, basically that's the gist. I know it's kind of a short video, but like I said, that's what these Monday musings are about. Just little quick bites, my thoughts, reactions to other things going on. I thought that this was a really juicy, cool topic. Like, what is the opposite of shadow work? So if you have thoughts and you want to share in the comment section below, please do. If you have a channel and you want to do a VR, please do that as well. But go check out her video first, because that's where this started. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. And until next time, much love and gratitude.